There's a house price collapse coming. Are you ready? Check out this video as there are some worrying times. Or not, as a case may be. Check out this video. Hi everyone, my name is Simon Michevich from Optimised Accountants, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the house price. Are we facing a collapse? Is a recession inevitable? Will house prices go back to the 1930s? Well, let's check out some data, because there is a lot of videos and media, I should say, that are scaremongering. They are telling you all sorts of horror stories that property prices will collapse, but they don't tell you by how much and how it will affect you. And then once the recession is done and dusted, what that will be. People are looking at this as a doom and gloom factor, and it's then forever. And it's not. So I want you to all just take a breather with me. Because when you look at the data, you'll start to realize, yes, there is going to be a downturn at some point. What goes up must come down. There is a great advert about that. But what I want to think about here is the fact that we are looking at house prices. And interestingly enough, people will talk about collapse and so on like that. This is data that's just come out, and obviously when you look at the Office of National Statistics, we're always out of kilter. So I'm doing this video in September, but the latest information I have right now is June. More updates will come about, but here's the data for that. So UK house price in July was 286,000. Average house price in the UK January 2015. This is what the graph is showing you. It is going up, people. It is going up, and it's going up still. That's the headline. So is there a house price crash? All right, we're talking about now July, August. What are those house prices going to be? We will be producing those videos in due course. As soon as updates come out, we will be producing new videos for you. Some big headline numbers on there. You can see average house price in the UK was 286,397. Annual change for property in the UK was 7.8%. So they have gone up by 7.8%. By the way, just a quick snippet here, but people are talking about a deflation, a correction in the property markets, if you like. And what they're talking about here is the fact that property prices may well be closer to 7% reduction. Okay, now if that's the case, all that it's done is wiped out this year's inflation of property. Has it done much more than that? No, if what the experts are saying is going to be correct. And then on the right hand side, you can see there, pause this video please, the source of information is there for you anyway. But you can see there that the annual charge is, in terms of England, is 7.3%. The biggest increase, funny enough, in terms of house prices is in Northern Ireland with 9.6%. Go figure. I was not expecting that. But have a look at this data information yourself. Here's a report, the UK House Price Index. You'll notice that this is 17th of August. I'm hoping that there will be coming one soon in September. I will produce a video on that in due course. Pause the video to get the URL. The ONS average house price increased by 7.8% over the year to June 2022, down from 12.8% in May 2022. So we had a spike. Now, does that mean there's going to be a correction in the market? Well, house prices are still increasing. Is that increasing now begin to weather away? Time will tell. Despite house prices increasing between May and June 2022, annual house price inflation has slowed due to the rise in prices seen in 2021, and that's June a year earlier, which was the result of the tax break. So we're looking at different comparisons. So when people talk about house prices really significantly going up, and yet now they're really slowing, that's a sign of recession. No. That is a sign of government incentives in 2021 reducing stamp duty land tax. We are not going to see those increases going forwards, not just because of the recession, but because of the tax breaks. So again, we need to be careful of people looking at data and misinterpreting it and saying that this is caused by recession into the slowing of the house price. No, there were tax incentives, there was handouts from the government in terms of COVID. So they are not with us anymore. So people's spending patterns are going to change, inevitably. ONS, the average house price was 286. Yep, we read that, which is 20,000 than this time last year. Again, if we do see a 10% reduction, that's 28,000. So it's wiped out last year's figures and a little bit more. But again, I will stress that that is a 10% reduction, which is far more than the experts are actually saying. The average house price in England increased by 7.3% over the year to June 2022, down from an increase of 13% in the year May 2022. The average house price in England was a record level, 305,000. Average is a record high in June 2022 of 305,000. So, property is not one of those commodities that is quickly affected by recession. And I know people are saying it's doom and gloom straight away and you almost panic. But that frenzy, that psychological, I must react, and please note the word react as be proactive, but just react, of doing things that really you don't need to do, in the vain desperation that something in the round the corner is going to come and hit you, when it may not, to a level of degree that the media are telling you. And that's what I want to get across to you. Here's again from government website, the URL is there, please feel free to use that. Pause the video. And they produced UK House Price Index Summary in June 2022. A new one is coming out. Again, you can see it's published in 17th of August. I will get a new update one as soon as it comes out. But they said the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, which is RICS to you and I, June 22 UK residential market survey reported that results point to a softening in demand at the headline level. Softening of demand. But again, don't forget, we talked about tax breaks, stamp duty, land tax, and now we're talking about people worrying about recession. And by the way, I'm not saying at all people straight away commenting, saying that you're a bozo, because that's Boris Johnson, but you don't know anything because a recession is inevitable. I'm saying is that how much will the recession hit you, and could there be things that you could do now to protect yourself that if there is a recession, that you are not really going to be that affected. Okay. HMRC, the property transaction statistics showed that in June 2022, a seasonal adjusted basis, the estimated number of transactions in residential properties with a value of 40,000 was 95,420. This is a 54% lower than a year ago, which is quite a substantial amount, 54%, wouldn't you agree? So again, is that because of the tax breaks, and is that now because of people worrying about the economy? There could be a mixed bag, but I think that when I saw the tax breaks of stamp duty, land tax reduction, holiday period, that jumped up in terms of transactions to record highs. So I think it's really an unfair comparison to what about 2 years ago? What about 3 years ago? What you will find is that the comparisons to those data was pretty much flat. It's just the fact that we had this spike, and that's all. HMRC also go on to say the Bank of England Money and Credit June 2022 released reports that mortgage approvals for house purchasers on indicator of future borrowing decreased by 63,700 in June 2022. Again, from the previous year, right? This remains below pre-pandemic. Duh, of course it's going to be, because again, the tax breaks, stamp duty, land tax was all removed. A lot of investors were buying properties. It's inevitable that we're going to have that spike in 2021. It's just an unfair comparison. But when people read this, they'll think, oh my gosh, it's a crisis. It's not a crisis. It's just the fact that it was an obvious spike in the market in 2021.